provides an opportunity for licensed hands to operate their vintage military radio gear on the air. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not required. Chickens will be given a number that can be used in the handoff. I'll call for checking at the end of each roundtable session. If anybody has anything for sale or has a want for something, please mention it during your turn in the roundtable session. So, the list as I have it here is, in the number 1 spot is Jerry, W6JRY. In the 2 spot is Mike, W7MS. In the 3 spot is Bob, W6AQU. In the 4 spot is Steve, W6SSP. In the 5 spot is Dave, W6MQI. In the number 6 spot is Rich, KE6QK. And in the number 7 spot is Bill, N6BCT. So I'll make one more call out to see if there's anybody that wants to check in here on the tail end of the first round and be number 8. Come now.
Well, I'm going from number 1 to number 8. This is K6VXY.
Well, good morning, Vern. Hey, at least you woke up and you're here, man. That's great. I'm glad you're here this morning. You got a good signal this morning, Vern. I've got you in the 8 spot, sir. All right. See, number 8 is Vern, K6VXY. Is there a number 9 out there that would like to check in tail end of the first round? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. I'm sure we'll have some stragglers here in a few minutes. But anyway, all right, I'm just going to run down the list real quick with the call signs. Number 1, W6JRY. Number 2, W7MS. Number 3, W6AQU. Number 4, W6SSP. Number 5, W6MQI. Number 6, KE6QK. Number 7, N6BCT, and number 8, K6VXY. So, good morning, gentlemen. So far, all the signals have been pretty doggone good, and this is our first return to the 7:30 time slot, I'll say, and hopefully we made a good decision there. I think we did, but anyway, glad everybody could be here this morning, and we're running the standard extra fill station here, ART13, R390A, D104 mic, inverted V, 200 watts, and about 1 watt of reflected power. So anyway, that's the rundown here. So we'll go ahead and we'll start, and I'll pick up anybody on the end of the first round here, and we'll start with Jerry over in Forest Ranch. Good to have you back, Jerry. W6JRY in the group, K0DWC.
Okay, very good. K0DWC in the group, W6JRY. Good morning to all. Copying everybody here. Good signals. Some slow QSB, but copying everybody so far here, even with some of my power line noise. It's still aggravating me a certain amount. Anyway, let's see. This morning we're on our Collins setup here, 32V3 transmitter and the 75A4 receiver. I decided to pay some attention to it and see if it was still working due to the fact that it was on the air yesterday on 20 meters, and W0CXX in Cedar Rapids was on the air celebrating the 90th anniversary of Collins Radio, and I guess they'll be back on today with the same thing there. So, kind of triggered me to see if my 75A4 and 32V3 was still working. They appear to be. So that's what we're using, along with a D104 mic, Della loop antenna. Yeah, I was absent a couple of different weekends here. I kind of tweaked an already tweaked back here, and it had to do with red-headed woodpeckers, ladders, and rain gutters, and kind of an aggravating situation that still hasn't solved itself. So, over to you, Mike. Good signal in here this morning. W7MS in the group, W6JRY.
Well, thank you, Jerry. I think I'm about, well, who knows where I am. But W7MS Mike Arena, I was looking at the free counter. And this morning, good signals from everybody, but this morning it's my debut as a GP7 Westinghouse aircraft transmitter, running about 65-70 watts of suppressor grid modulation. And of course, standard for the MOPA setup as I speak, I will be drifting down in frequency, and I need to maybe pursue some research on that, but I think it is what it is. But that's the setup here. GP7, it's a 1940 contract, and the acceptance for the Navy was in August of 1943. So 65 watts, price of 400 hertz or 800 hertz artifacts in the audio, but them's the breaks. And having a lot of fun here. What a setup. So we'll keep it short, and over to Bob, W6AQU, W7MS.
Very good, Mike. Thank you. I had to push another button here. W7MS. This is W6A Bull Queen Uncle Montague. The skies are clear this morning. Jerry's excellent audio. Excellent. Very, very brilliant. SST. Didn't hear you long enough, but you're certainly Q5. MQI, Dave, good morning. And Rich is in there this morning. I have you as K6TK. And BCT, Bill. Still copying you. By golly. This early in the morning. Morning to Vern. Wonder how you doing up there on top of that hill today. Oh, I haven't checked the temperature yet this morning, but it's not too bad. Skies are clear. And maybe I could do some birding today. Got a birding permit, and they're measuring the moisture of the fuel back and forth here on whether or not they're going to go and allow the burning. We're running a 7300 into a single 3500Z. We haven't got out to the shack yet, but by the next transmission we will be out in the radio room and switch equipment. So, SST, Santa Rosa. How's the weather over there this morning there, Steve? Go ahead.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. W6AQU, W6SSP.
Yeah, it looks like clear skies.
There's the change. It was cloudy all day yesterday and kind of chilly. So we'll see what the day holiday shoots out. More rain coming in on Monday. We've had little bouts of rain, not much. 1/10 of an inch here, 2/10 of an inch, just enough to get the grass wet. So, but it's good because it cuts down on fire danger here. And it's been 6 years last week as of last week since the big fires, the big tub fire that we had that threatened us and burned all the houses around us. So the rain is good, cool weather is good too. So anywho, everybody sounding really good. On the phone setup. Sounds fantastic up here. And you've got a voice, much like Carla, by the way, that just kind of cuts through everything. Excellent radio voice. It just really sounds good, especially through this rig. And Mike, very good on the GP7. I can hear a little bit of 400 cycles in the background. I don't know. It could be a fan. It could be the 400 cycles. Not sure, but it sounds very good. Good change. Good audio quality. The whole deal. So we'll keep it going. Over to Livermore. Then Dave, W6MQI, W6SSP.
All right, W6SSP. I'm trying to get myself a little bit better on frequency. All right, good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's good conditions this morning. Chuck, you're sounding good here today, and Jerry just pounded in here. Your calling sounds very good, very good. Like Steve says, your voice is just cutting right through. Sounds really good. And Mike, the GP7, thanks for sending those pictures. I had no idea what it was. Now I know. And yeah, I do hear like a fan or something in the background, but all good. Sounds really good. Morning to Bob. You're sounding good this morning. And Steve. And I did not hear Rich. I did hear Bill. And I did hear Vern. So good morning, guys. Good. This is Dave. Like I said, I don't know if I said that or not. In Livermore. And it's about 52 degrees. And serious guys up over there in Nevada, or even Jerry maybe, how dark it got yesterday at your place during the eclipse. We had about 75% here today, yesterday, and kind of cool. My daughter was here from Indiana for the weekend. In fact, I was supposed to be in Indiana right now. Tuesday, I guess it's the season, Jerry. I tweaked my back, and I was out for work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Of course, I don't work Fridays, but I'm still hurting today. So I don't know what's going to happen here. So yeah, it sucks. Back problems suck. Mine stems from working construction my whole life. Lower back's pretty trashed. Might have to give myself an injection or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, enough complaining about my body. Over to Rich, KE6QK, W6MQI.
Well, thank you, Dave. W6NQI and the group, KE6QK. Be advised it probably don't sound right with a head cold, but that's the way it goes. We've been nursing that all week, and the older you get, it just seems to hang on longer for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, a comment on the garden. Yeah, our lowest temperature here was about 30, about 32, just freezing. I threw a tarp over the garden. Didn't have any losses. And we're just about done. We got a lot of tomatoes hanging around. This morning I'm using the good old VX100B. Haven't put it in the case yet. I didn't feel good all week. It's just been sitting there since the last two, so apparently it's running okay. As far as equipment goes, if anyone needs a 19-inch rack, I got a couple of them. If you want to get rid of them, I'm not going to deliver. I have the same back problem. It's just a rooting tube. I also have a bunch of those 5.8 gig internet dishes. Going to have to recycle the aluminum. They're beautiful 3-foot dishes. And one wants to do a microwave stand. Got them up here. Got to unload a bunch of stuff. I'll be putting it out on the net. Anyway, that's all I have. I don't want to keep it long, and my nose is clogged. Well, we'll send it over to Bill, N6 Bravo Charlie Tango, K Talent.
Bravo Charlie Tango, Half Moon Day. Yeah, I'm running the same old equipment here. It goes to FT100B and the AM mode, which gets about 45 watts. story here. I don't know what the temperature is, but we've been having a little drizzle every once in a while, but it's not today. So there you go. Anyway, it's over to K6 VXY N6 Bravo Charlie Tango.
Okay, thanks, Bill. N6 BCT, this is K6 VXY. Today running 90 watts. Okay. I don't know if I'd tell much difference between 80 and 100, 120, whatever. I don't push this really hard yet. I will. But I checked in with, I think running about 10 watts. That's pretty amazing. Must be a good spot up here. And I was up early enough to be a much higher number. Not to make excuses, but I decided to make some coffee and clean up the kitchen a little bit. And I still took coffee out of the coffee maker and had to clean up a little more. That's excuse number 2. And signals are very good today. Everyone's over 9. And Bill, you came in very loud and clear. We're moving toward fall. I guess we're officially in it as of a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to say good morning to Chuck and Mike and Gary and Bob and Steve and Dave and Rich over at Fallon, Nevada. I visited there once. We visited many years ago. We went to Fallon, Nevada. We were living in Dublin, California at the time, and we visited the former pastor of our church. He had a church over there in Fallon. I'm not sure if he's still there or not, but he had migrated over there. Fallon's a kind of a neat area. It's out there in the middle of what seems like nowhere, but it's really a neat little town there. And when we saw it was a long time ago. I'm trying to think. Would it have been around 19? I'd say 90 or so. Or 90s somewhere. Quite a while ago. Good morning again, Bill. And so I'm going to turn it back to Ned. I didn't hear Henry today. I guess he'll be checking in or he's out of town. And good net there, Chuck. Get back to you, and I guess you'll look for number 9. K6 VXY.
WA7YBS.
Hey, there you are, Henry. I was waiting for you there, man. All right, Henry, I got you in the 9 spot, bud. WA7YBS in the number 9 spot. Is there anybody else that would like to check in and be number 10? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So, Henry, go ahead and take it there, sir. It's all yours, and send it back up to me, K0DWC, WA7YBS. Go ahead.
Okay. K0DWC WA7YBS. All right. I might be hitting it a little hard, judging by the carrier level meter. The scope is across the room, so it's kind of hard to tell. But that looks okay. I just won't close talk to Mike. Well, good morning to all. I've heard from Jerry on. So let me turn down the mic gain a little bit. See if that's a little better. And, okay, we'll see how that does. So good morning to Jerry and to Mike, Bob, Steve, Dave, Rich, Bill, and Chuck. All good signals in here, 100% on everybody. We're in preparation, I guess you'd say, for the end of the month roundup. I'm on the ART-13. This is the Salmon Fugitive ART-13. That was the basket case one. Oh man, I can't remember when I got this. 2009 or something like that. It was in 3 boxes, And anyway, eventually I did put it all together, and so anyway, it's been a very well. It's had a few failures, but nothing serious. Mostly relays with a K104 and 103. Both of those failed at different times. So anyway, this is the ART13 and about 125 watts output, and the receiver is a 1952 R388 receiver. It was also a basket case obtained from the infamous Mr. T, and that was in 2013 that I got this ART13. The band switch was all desynchronized. It was a mess, but it all went back together and operates fine. So let's see, on the eclipse there, yes, I watched the eclipse. I used my battleship binoculars. Those are 25 power binoculars with 4-inch objective lenses. And then I have solar filters that I put on the objective lenses. So I could not only see the moon going across the apparent disk of the sun, but I could also see sunspots. So nothing like watching the eclipse at 25 power. But clouds were a problem. They never obscured the view of the solar disk, but I only got absolutely 100%, 10 or 20% of the time. The rest of it was partially obscured with clouds, but never 100% obscured. And I also had the wild horses keeping me company. They come in the yard, or I should say the property, all the time, this time of the year. And so they had to come up and see what I was doing. I don't know about them. They're not very wild, really. Anyway, that was our eclipse event. So with that, back to Chuck. 35 degrees this morning. So, K0DWC WA7 YBS.
Okay, Henry, WA7YBS, K0DWC. Yeah, I know, Henry. It's nothing like a herd of horses to adopt you. You and Sharon both. Oh, he's right, though, folks. Those horses are pretty doggone tame. Carla came home from the grocery store one day and pulled her Volkswagen up in front of the house here right by the porch and opened the back. Get the groceries out. She came in the house and went back out. When she did, there was 3 horses with their heads in the back of the Volkswagen. So we're careful about closing the gate if we see them around. So anyway, that's pretty funny. Henry's got a herd down there that come to visit them, and must be 13 or 14 horses, Henry, I guess, huh? But anyway, hey, the ART13 sounding great. The Samba Fugitive, yeah, I remember that. It was like 2008. You pieced that thing together piece by piece and got it going. That was really a cool. I thought it was really cool that you did that. But let's see. Mike, that GP7 sounds really good. It's a treat to hear that on. That's thanks for putting that on this morning. I could hear something in the back too. It didn't sound like a fan to me though, like what Dave said. It kind of sounded like kind of like a dynamotor, but maybe it wasn't. It may have been a fan. But, anyway, it was sounding really good. Jerry's pounding in. Bob, no problem. Mike was very military sounding. Rich, the DX100B is working good for you. No problem with your audio or anything, so you're doing fine, and Bill's doing fine, Vern, and Henry's pounding in here as well. Steve is too. And so I think Henry and I made a pretty good choice, I think, to change make the time change. That was a good time slot. Actually, it was Henry's idea to do it, so good job there, Henry. So let's see if there's anybody else out there who wants to check in. It'll be number 10. I'd like to check in to the Vintage Military Radio Net. Come now. You know, I thought I heard something, but I'm not sure. Did anybody hear anything? Guess not. Okay. Well, let's see here. All right. Well, let's head back up to the top to Jerry W6JRY to start round 2. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, very good. K0DWC in the group W6JRY. Well, good from everybody. Good morning, Henry, and sounding good here on the ART-13, the R388 receiver. I thought of you yesterday. I was on 12 meters. Incidentally, HF, 12, 10 meters. Has been quite good openings there. And I was talking to a G0 in the UK, and he would work for Raycal. I told him I knew somebody who had a number of Raycal receivers. No luck on the eclipse here. It was quite cloudy here, and so it was kind of a bust as far as the eclipse from our location goes. We had pretty much overcast about the time that was happening. And I think the peak of it was around 9:30 at our location here, and it could, just looking around the ground, you could see the shadowing and so on that was happening, but beyond looking at it with lenses and stuff, it was a washout. So, well, there'll maybe be another one down the road there, but we've seen them in the past. Well, okay, on those wild horses over there, I remember seeing a lot of them with our Nevada travels in the years past, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so on there. One place we spent some time, and I remember not only wild horse herds, but also wild burros out there around Seven Troughs and Mazuma, which is up west of Lovelock. Used to spend some time out there in a number of different areas when we were camping and so on up in that country. Not too much of anything else happening here. Radio-wise, the only project I messed with lately here was not a shortwave radio, but a broadcast radio. And maybe you have one of these, Henry. It's a radio that looks like a microphone, and it was a sales thing. They would people that would take advertisement on the local radio stations. In fact, our main local radio stations in years past was KHSL, and so this thing has KHSL and 1290 on it, and it's just one frequency. It's just set up and tuned to that particular frequency. But it was a sales thing, and I think they were around, back in the 50s or something of that nature. It's kind of looks shaped like a microphone, and anyway, I acquired that years ago, and I don't even have a clue where I got it. Might have been a yard sale or something. Okay, well, that's about enough out of me, and I'll move it along. The mic, your GP7 sounds good here with the 65 watts, and doing a good job. And on over to you there, W7MS in the group, W6JRY.
Okay, well, here I is. W6JRY in the Sunday morning military net, W7MS, naked official, Mike in Reno. And I'll talk a little bit more here. I was in the middle of a allergy, everybody's talking medical issues, back and colds, but I was in the middle of a major sneezing episode. And we'll converse a little bit more here on the and talk up on the GP7. But a few comments for other folks. Everybody's doing well. Some fast QSB, as Jerry noted in his first transmission. And Rich, we'd never know that you were down and out with a cold. You sound just fine out of my receiver here in Reno. So doing well. Vern, and this is to reinforce some comments that Dave made last week, I believe last week or the previous week, about, you do have some clipping in your audio. There's a little pop, 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 and I wouldn't say necessarily voice peaks. It's a little interesting phenomenon, so something isn't quite right. And dead on Dave in mentioning that in a previous Sunday, but I hear it also. It's not super serious. It's relatively subtle, Vern, but it is in there. It's a need to know. And Bill, in fact, is Q5 into Reno this morning. So good morning to he. Henry doing well on the preheat ART-13, getting ready for the big day. Some comments on Mr. T. I was in Hammond Hi-Fi last week, and the subject of Mrs. Terra came up. And we were chuckling over the famous lunch out with Ethan for fast food, and Mr. Terra's upset at having tomatoes on his hamburger. So that was great. Finding the wild horses, they're always looking for handouts. Fortunately, I've only had one instance in 10 years in this house, because this is an urban area, where one showed up outside my bedroom window at 3 a.m. And I ignored it because I thought it was kind of a dream state thing, but when I looked out there the next day, there was a big pile of a manure pile. So obviously there was a horse out there at one time. It left me a little calling card. So comments on the 400 hertz whine, it's always going to be there because you have hot cathode filament tubes in this thing. There's no such thing as heater cathode leakage when the heater and the cathode, or the filament and the cathode, are one and the same. So they have 400 hertz AC on those puppies, so there's going to be some imprint in that case on the 803s, the 843s, the 801s. The three active tubes in this guy are all tungsten high cathode tubes. And interesting, running 90 mils at about 2,200 volts on the plate of the 803. So that's the exciting news here from the GP7. And it's great to have it on. And who knows, maybe like the ART-13 20 or 30 years ago, maybe we can start a GP7 rush for GP7 folks out there to get GP7s on the air. So with that, over to Bob. Good signal. W6AQU, W7MS.
Well, we'll see if it's going to work. Thanks, Mike. W7MS. W6Able, Queen Uncle. All right, well, so far so good. No smoke. No overload stripping. Well, I got to say, again, Jerry's audio is fantastic. I don't know what he's doing, but you're talking about that V3. I wonder if that's the one from that trade years ago. Okay, let's see. Comment on Vern's. I didn't detect here anything with Vern's audio. But maybe I missed something. Getting in here, I moved locations. I'm in the main radio room now. So maybe I missed that here in transit. Bill is exceptionally well copied here this morning. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly better, Bill. I've, in the past, had a lot of difficulty in copying your signal. Morning to Henry. Well, you sound pretty good.
You guys talking about ART-13s? Well, we've got one here that's it's got some clip leads on it, but it works. We haven't got the big power supply in here for the other one yet, but I guess we've got 2 more weeks to get that done. So anyhow, we're on the T368 this morning, single 400A, and the slug says that we're actually maybe running too much power. So with that, over to Santa Rosa, W6SST, W6Able, Queen Uncle.
Okay, Bob, very good. And W6AQU, W6SSP. The T368 sounds fantastic here, by the way. Very good audio, favoring the highs a little bit, but certainly cuts through the airways very, very well. Everybody sounded good today. Really good conditions. The time change didn't seem to make that much of a difference. A little QSP creeping in, but not bad. Everybody's still Q5. And Jerry, sorry to hear about your back. I've dealt with that myself as well. And it happens at weird times. It's kind of strange. One day I'll be lifting I'll be moving a 32V1 transmitter to the shop, which entails carrying it at chest level for about 40 feet to get over the piles of junk and cars and pinball machines and stuff. I'll be fine. Next day I'll bend over and pick up a pine cone and twist my back. That's happened so many times. I just got to be more careful. I think as we all do as we get older, that's how it goes. And let's see what else. Oh, well, Mike. Again on the GP7 sounds great. I assume you're using the 803 you got from me. And if so, I'm glad it was put to use. Good use, too. So GP7 is a cool rig. I've looked at a few pictures since you mentioned it, and the G07 is another one I've kind of lusted over the years. I had a TBW, which was kind of neat. It was also 800 cycles, and for modulated CW, we just had a resistor divider and put that right into the audio. It works. It sounded pretty good, although I never got mine on the air. Never found a source for 800 cycles. Anyway, projects this week. Haven't really had much time to go out to the garage shop. Dealing with the new kitten, and this week it's been teaching her the house rules, and that means no chewing on wires or books or magazines, of which there are a lot of here. She's not taking to that too well, but it's just one of those things you got to be patient. And if she's on the wrong wire, she'll know about it real fast. She'll learn that lesson. The one thing I did put on the bench the other day was one of the Lincoln finds, which was the Yaesu FT301D, which, as far as I know, was the very first all-solid-state HF transceiver made by the Japanese. Kind of interesting radio, built like the FT101. And it turns out this one had all the options. AM boards, filters, noise blanker, the whole 9 yards. It's a heck of a deal for $25. Anyway, I got it going. Actually, I got it going a couple weeks ago, but the display is made of unobtainium LEDs, and trying to find a way to connect an external counter to that. So that'll be the project this week. Way off topic for this group, but kind of fun. Cheap entertainment is the way I look at these things. So, over to Dave in Livermore, W6MQI, W6SSP.
Alright, W6SSP, W6MQI. Yeah, I didn't know if I had mentioned I'm using the TCS this morning. TCS transmitter and receiver. That's what I'm on this morning. And let's see. Yeah, I think you guys picked a good time. Everybody, the conditions seem to be hanging in there. Everybody's sounding good this morning. Project. And it's flipped here with 75%. Same problem. Loud cool. But other than that, I've never seen a full-on eclipse before, just partials. So anyway, it's kind of neat event. And I did a stupid thing, I guess. Bought myself a project. It's a National NC101XA receiver. Like I need something like that with my back. So I got myself a project. I've been looking at Henry's site, reading up on them and such. I always kind of like the looks of those national receivers, especially the RAOs and such. So looking forward to a nice project for the winter. I think I'll use this to pair up with my TCK7 receiver, transmitter. A little bit better, I think, than the RAL7 receiver. Other than that, not much else going on around here. Shop here. Yeah, I got nothing on the bench or anything. I got projects, but I haven't started any videos yet. Small stuff. Well, I guess that's about it I got here. So send it over to Rich. W6QK, W6MQI.
Well, thanks very much, Dave. MQI, okay. Anyway, I'm not feeling really great. I'm gonna pull a big switch after this one. Go inside and take some, or something. Pickup today, really good. US very fast. See you guys going from an S7 to 5 or 10 over. Excuse me. And but overall, the round table really a good one. I'll be back next week. On the rigs, I told you I took a week off with the head cold, but I think today I'm going to get a hold of my young neighbor next door, the big guy. I'm going to put the X100 cabinet on the floor here on blocks, and we'll just kind of set that thing right in that newly painted gate. And tired of looking at this DX100 piece sitting on its side, although it works good at a 90-degree angle here. But I need to get back on that Girl Scout. I have to get a VFO operating here so I can play with the old Girl Scout, see if I can get that on the air and get that on this net. Anyway, let me look on here. Yeah, that's about all the notes I have. I did not see the eclipse. I probably was napping. That's how good I was feeling this week. Anyway, okay, it's over to Bill. I'll stay with 73s, guys. I'll listen for a little while, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm in the garage here with this rig to go in the house and get some meds. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. I'll listen next week from 7 to 7:30, whatever you choose there. Thank you much. N6 Bravo Charlie Tango, Bill, KE62K. Thank you.
Well, you're about and then you brought that Adam.
seeing that on TV, thinking, oh, that'll never happen here. Oh well. Anyhow, project this week, I found the keyword I needed years ago, and I think it's still recently. You were able to get these units that you could put a pole up and then mount an antenna on it, like a small like I'm using on 2 meters or maybe even 10 meters, and I could never find one. Now I'm swimming in the word I missed was C as in Victor, and if anyone needs something like that, that's one with the clamps on it. It's an antenna clamp, and what they do there, they say it's an antenna clamp with a C grip. C is the Victor grip. It's a vice grip, so it grips on you, especially if you're holding medium height with EMP conduit. Now I get bigger because I also found a antenna mount for the space, because I have a heavyweight frame for a house for your basement with a foundation, a big block of cement, big most of one, with a 2x6 mounted on top and anchored to it, and I use that as my base. So now I can this little dude, if it don't space, I can raise different heights of antennas. Most of it maybe 5 feet, but those are going to be here midweek, along with some other things I got ordered, projects working on. But it's going to allow me to put the antenna up even higher. If I am trying to point any of these type antennas, say like on 2 meters here, this is all the type most of the rotations say heading north or northeast, hitting straight right line. But going south, like the Fresno, where the net control is, that's where it's net control president is, where it's running the net out of Fresno. We're running the control behind it. So I don't know. I keep looking at houses up here in Pine Mountain Lakes. I'm not going to move, but some of them have really, really nice locations. They're on top of the peak of one of the hills. So I think where I'm at here is the sweet spot for running you guys here. 80 meters. Anyhow, that's it on the project. So as to the loss of raising antennas, you guys can see yourself out in the background.
Okay, Vern. T6 GXY WA7YB. Okay. Well, let's say first off, Vern, the audio, your audio, is garbled. It's very noticeable. Doesn't prevent copy. You know, I can understand you fine, but it is there. It is an artifact that is noticeable. So I know that Dave and Mike have mentioned it, so I'll mention it also. It is there. And so that's that. Let's see, on the eclipse there, to Dave anyway, we were about 95% here, and so noticeable darkening and stuff. But when I lived up in Virginia City, we had a total up there, 2012 I believe it was, in the summer, and that was another annular eclipse. So the moon isn't quite big enough on those types of eclipses to really block the sun out 100%, but you get a ring. You get a ring of light around the moon in an annular, and so it was 100% there at Virginia City on that one. And you could see the Venus. I think Venus and one other bright planet, probably Jupiter, was visible during the 100%. So that was very noticeable darkening on that one. But this one at 95% was, if it hadn't been cloudy, it would have been a lot easier to, maybe see if anything was going to be visible. But the clouds they didn't totally ruin it, because we never lost sight of the solar disk, but certainly they were there, and so that was that. And I have to also say something about the NC100A, or the NC101A, ham bands only version. That's a really good one. Well, all of the NC100 series are good receivers. Of course, they're just a single RF stage, but the thing to remember is like the RAO with its 2 RF stages, that second RF amplifier is unity gain in the RAO. It doesn't add anything to sensitivity. It was only for another tuned circuit in there for reducing the images and stuff like that. And so as far as sensitivity, I think the NC100s and the NC101s and the A versions are just as sensitive as an RAO. And also they have the push-pull 6F6s for your audio output. So good audio out of the NC100As and the NC100s. So yeah, they're worth going through. Because they are really one of the best that of that type of receiver that National could make at that time in the late 1939, around in there. The A version came out in June of 1938, and so yours is probably from 1939 or so. And so yeah, good one to do. And Jerry, on the mic radio, I never had one of those. I've seen them and everything. Usually they look like a 44BX RCA microphone, and they, like you just said, they have the call letters on the base, and then it only receives one station, that station. Of course, you can tune them inside, but I never had a chance to get one, but I know what you mean exactly. And yeah, Mike, the 400 hertz, that last transmission on the GP7, I could hear it. No big deal. It's there, subtle, no problem. And yes, I heard about the tomato incident with Mr. T. I've heard about that one. Yeah, he had a tendency to go ballistic sometimes. And so, what can you say? He was He was a character. So let's see, projects here. We're still working on the power pack, the power unit, that's what it's called, power unit, for the RAG1 receiver. And it is strange because I would have expected for a shipboard radio that the power supply would have dedicated B+ power supply, dedicated C- power supply, etc., etc. But no, this thing is all balanced in the loads that the various sections of the receiver present to the power pack, and so there's no checking it on the bench. I put loading resistors on it, and I can get it to come close to the voltages, but it's just one weird power pack. But hey, it was a high-grade Sylvania for the contractor. So those guys were used to making light bulbs and ballasts. So what can you say? And that's probably why we don't see too many Navy Sylvania receivers or anything there. And of course, as I mentioned on the RAG, it was the predecessor to the rack and the RAL. And you can in analyzing the RAG, you can see why the Navy went to the rack. And they were just far superior receivers. The Sylvanias they're just oddballs. So anyway, back to Chuck, K0DWCWA7YBS.
100 kilowatts November. Okay, I think I heard Vern and I heard Kevin in there. Let's see. Vern, K6VXY. Vern, I got you in the 10 spot. And Kevin, I've got you in the 11 spot. Let's see. Okay. All right. Vern, K6VXY, go ahead and make a transmission. Good morning to you, and send it over to Kevin. Good morning to Kevin, and Kevin, you can send it back up to me, K0DWC. So, Kevin, Vern, K6VXY, go ahead and take it.
Okay, this was just a quick guess. I'm actually number 8, and I will turn it over to Kevin. I switched microphones. I have had very good reports on this one. It's an SM30. It's a desk mic as opposed to a hand mic. And I adjusted the gain on the mic gain. I may turn it down a little. Let's see. I can turn it way down, then I'll turn it back up. But maybe there's something going on with that microphone, so I'm turning it over to Kevin. So any reports would be appreciated. K6VXY over to WA6JKN.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning. You got a good signal. Audio sounds wonderful. I didn't notice much of a difference when you made the adjustment. The switch in the microphone definitely made a difference. And I'm copying all signals here just fine. I wanted to get in here and mention the Dave, W6MQI, that I was going to suggest, these boat anchors, they're getting heavier. They gain a lot of weight as they get older. They just get heavier and heavier and heavier. And my solution was not to put them on a dock, but to go down the Harbor Freight
and buy their hydraulic lift table. They are the most handiest tools to have when you own these old radios, the heavy radios. And what's nice about them, you can work on the radio, use the hydraulic lift table as your workbench. And it's got wheels, you can move it around. So you can rotate the radio and work on it from different angles and everything else. So I was going to suggest that. They're not that expensive either. Very, very nice. And especially with the heavy power supplies and the modulators and things like that, those things can get pretty heavy with all the iron with the things like Old King 500s and stuff like that. Military radios can be very. So the hydraulic lift table has been my saving grace. It works well. With anything that's hydraulic, you just got to be careful not to rest your foot in between the table and the base in case the hydraulic fails or develops a leak or whatever. So I use like a 2x4, and what I do is I have the I like working on the boat anchor. Put that 2x4 between the floor and the table of the hydraulic lift. Probably not necessary, but I do it anyway because if I use any kind of a hydraulic jack on a car, I always use a jack. The car, lift it up, and then put the jack underneath it, put the pin in, so I don't rely on a hydraulic jack to hold the car up while I'm underneath it. So I figured the same thing would apply from a safety standpoint when I use the Harbor Freight hydraulic lift table. So anyway, that idea was shared to me by Paul out there in Kingman, Arizona. W2LMQ. We have one out there. He's got a lot of boat acres out there. I was helping him work on a few rigs. Boy, it made it really easy to move things around and work on the rigs and everything else. I couldn't believe it. My back did not hurt one time. I didn't really have to lift anything because you bring the cable up to the level of where the radio's sitting on the bench, and you slide the radio on it. So all you're doing is sliding the radio. So anyway, thought I'd share that with you. Anybody else that may have something that's getting a little too heavy these days. All right, so Chuck, back over to you, sir. K0DWC. Okay, 6JKN.
Okay, Kevin, W6JKN, K0DWC. Good signal, Kevin, this morning. Glad you could make it before the end of the net there. And burn my apologies. I don't know what I was thinking. I have you in the number 8 spot. So just disregard that. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking. That was pretty stupid on my part. But anyway, K6VXY in the number 8 spot. And Kevin is in the 10 spot, WA6JKN. So now I got that straight. Okay, just real quick, is there anybody that wants to check in before we go to the 7-3 round? We'll be heading to the 7-3 round this next go around. If you want to be number 11, come now. Yeah, Henry already made his transmission for the number
Henry, you made your transmission for the number 2 spot, didn't you? In the second round?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, just wanted to double check. Okay, nothing heard. So 7-3's to Rich. And Rich, if you listen, hope to see you later. And we'll go ahead and start the 7-3 round. And go up to the front. The W6JRY. To take it, this is K0DWC. 7-3 round, fellas. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, yeah, very good. K0DWC in the group W6JRY. Well, you know, signals have really held up good all the way through here, and everybody's still good copy. The little problems there with Vern on the old, the first mic he had there, but once he got the better mic on there, it was much more intelligible, and more gain there too. Got a little trouble hearing, understanding it on that first microphone there. And let's see here, Steve. Yeah, my whole life has been back problems. Started when I was 19 with an automobile, but you know, that came and went. And I think the second episode, these things are all accumulative, and through your life, you know, you do maybe you get over them for a while and so on, but they accumulate until they become somewhat permanent. But yeah, I think the second one around is I fell off a pole, slid. I think it was I was up about 12, 14 feet, and opened up a disconnect box to disconnect a phone, and it was full of yellow jackets. They flew out in my face, and I didn't have my belt on, and I dropped right down on my the hindside. Anyway, that got better, but through the years, did a lot of climbing, poles, towers, and stuff, and it's all accumulative. But so far, I've put off an operation. I don't know, the last 2 or 3 MRIs I had, you know, the only thing they come out back with was, well, you need to have it operated on. But I just know too many people that had back operations that weren't successful, so I've been putting it off and putting it off. But anyway, enough of that stuff. We all know about it. And yeah, Kevin, I've been using those lifts for quite a while. I've had a couple of them ever since they come out with them. Very, very handy tools. And let's see, Bob. Yes, what we're on right now is the 32 V3 that I got from you. Haven't had to do too much to it. A few little repairs and whatnot. I think one of the main things I did with it, the cabinet wasn't too good. I had it powder coated, and it come out perfect past the panel. So there was a place here down in Chico that did powder coating, and just really it was really a good match. It come out real nice. Okay, I'm going to say 73s and move it along here. Very good net, and nice talking to everybody here this morning. Everybody have a good day, and we'll turn it over to you there, Mike, on your GP7 there. W7MS in the group, 73s, and we'll listen out. There's W6JRY.
Okie dokie. W6JRY, W7MS. Yeah, great signal, great story on the successful powder coat. Absolutely, W7MS to make it official. Well, you know, and also we'll be listening for the W0CXX special event station there in Cedar Rapids. See what we hear today. Fine discussion on national receivers, etc., and what else can be said. But I'm going to do a little demonstration here. Just a second. Okay, that was an illegal modulated CW note there, but what's interesting with the GP7, they just left the filter capacitor in the plate supply, so hence you're going to run off the, in this case, 800 hertz ripple to the PA, or in its official military application, you might be running upwards to 1600 hertz CW nodes. So kind of an interesting, innovative way to get to MCW, just pull the plate filter cap. But with that, I'm going to say 7-3s, adios amigos, and keep it rolling, because the sun's are rising and the bands are fading. W6AQU, W7MS.
Okay, Mike. W7MS. W6Able Clean Uncle. Well, let's see. As long as you use that transmitter, Mike, you won't have to give your call sign anymore. Unique. Okay, JKM. Good morning, Kevin. Rocking in way up here. Let's see. Yeah, the back troubles. Well, we get what we asked for, I guess. I have the same problem. And I'm still stupid enough to try to lift at 90 years of age. But fortunately, my partner here is very helpful. And together we can move all of the boat anchors, actually. Except, of course, the T368 and the big broadcast transmitters. But she's always willing to help, and we can move all the heavy stuff around. We put it on a shop cart and roll it around and move it from here to here, and so far so good. Yeah, let's see. MQI, you were talking about going to Tasmania. I wonder if you're making progress on that or what? That's a fur piece to paddle down on. Tell you, a long, long time to get down there from where you are. Well, Vern, yeah, you made a big long transmission with very little audio, and then you switched microphones, and then I could hear you more better. Yeah, made a difference there. BCT, there's a Half Moon Day. Still making it up here loud and clear. All right. Well, I've set it up. So I will say my 73s also. Well, listen out. W6SST. W6Able Queen Uncle. Okay, Bob. Thank you. 42. One of the neat things about using
to identify people, even if they don't give you a call sign, because every transmitter is unique in one way or another. It's something I've noticed in the Bahamas now. It's very neat, and all are different from what you do on the ham bands these days. That's how it is. Yeah, signals are fading a little bit, so I'll keep it fairly short. Jerry, if you're still listening, I'll have your radio mic. Those things are rare. Very rare. I've been collecting, actively collecting AM broadcast receivers for almost 50 years, very close to 50 years now. I've seen it in museums, and I've seen pictures and books and things on the internet, but never seen them in person. I've never seen novelty radio. So hang on to that, and having local radio stations help good audio quality and good quality. not so great, but it was still good electrical. And as Henry said, they work fantastic. And the latest one I have is, I think you might have been the last one. It was the NC240B, which is also a very unique looking radio, and works fantastic. But they're all basically a few differences mechanically. I believe yours has the black wrinkle front panel. Very, very nice for the early HROs. So congratulations on that. You'll have fun with it, and I think you'll be impressed with the So guys, wonderful net as always. Good group of people, nice mix of equipment, and just like and pass it over to Mr. Dave in Livermore, W6MQI, W6SSC, 73 miles.
All right, take care, Steve. W6MQI. Yeah, it's actually I think the same thing. The NC101XA. That's what it has on the data plate. One thing I saw on the internet for manual. Can't say the manual, but I'm tired of it. All that big. It doesn't have any voltage checks, resistance measurements, or anything like that. So I don't know if something like that is something out there. If anybody has something, copy of that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yes, it is black wrinkle, which I was. That's what I wanted anyway. Yeah, they got to look real good next to the TCK. Yeah, it's going to be a good project. This one has a power switch right where the microphone jack was. I was thinking, uh-oh. So something's amiss there. The owner says it was a power switch, so I'm thinking maybe the original power switch went out on it or something. I don't know. I'll find out when I dig into it. Other than that, that looks like all that's been done to it. Kevin, according to you, yeah, that's a good idea. I was looking at we were talking on the Freight website, a couple $100 for a lift table. Yeah, measured my bench height. It would definitely go high enough, and then just slide the radio off. I do have my AM213 up on a higher step on 46 inch step, so I wouldn't be able to get to that one unless I made an extension box to set on top of the lift table. Slide it over onto that. Yeah, I can slide up over on top of the table, lower it down to my Antra, and then go from there. Now if I can just figure out how the hell I can do the That's when I called my friend. He's about 10, 12 years younger than I am. He's the one that helped me get the TCK7 in here and the power supply. There's no way in hell I would be able to do that. But anyway, and Bob, Tasmania. Now that's not going to be for at least a couple years. That's a retirement, on the retirement wish list. So we'll see. Seen in an airplane that long, 17 hours or something like that. She's real good at being able to sleep on the plane. I can't sleep. It's going to be interesting. So with that, and looking forward to the ARC shootout. Go over to Rich Scott, so I guess it goes to Bill. N6BCT,
Okay, Bill, thanks. Well, you mentioned, John W6MIT in your call today at 2. Say hello to John for me from K6BXY. And I want to thank you for all the microphone reports. I'm about 4 or 5 inches away from this microphone right now. And it
the meter just wiggles a little bit with an AM signal. It bounces a lot more. But I was a little afraid to try this because they don't talk about the SM30 because of over all the mics that ICOM had. This one was more featured with the newer unit. But the pinout's the same, and I guess it sounds fine, so I'll stay with it. And yeah, I missed the eclipse. Totally. Total eclipse missed, yeah. But I did mention a couple weeks ago, when they get to be full or near full, like when I was at National Semiconductor, they had virtually, it was almost a full 80 or 90%. It's kind of eerie because it gets so dark outside. Anyhow, over to you, Henry. And thanks for your input too. That when you said gargled, I said I'm going to do some garbled. I'm going to do something about it and try the different mics. And I guess that worked out. And 73's all, everybody. Thanks for the reports and nice talking to you. And someone mentioned about ham radio, modern, and all that. I think that's why I like this group. It's the way I remember ham radio. It's just how we are. 73's all, and good net there, Chuck. Over to Henry, WA7YBS, K6VXY.
Okay, K6VXY, WA7YBS. Yeah, the audio there, Vern, is still doing that, but not as bad. I think your microphone has a lot better response, so it covers it up better, but it's still there, and it's kind of like I think Mike said that it kind of is like popping, like a popping noise that goes not with voice peaks, but just it's there. So I'm not really sure what that would be, but the mic that you're using now makes it better. It's not too noticeable. So that's a good improvement. And let's see, Dave, you might, there is a difference in the very early, the NC100 uses different tubes, and when you get to the NC101XA, your 1938, 1939, around in there, right in that time period is when they changed the AVC amplifier, the first audio amp. So they went to the 6F8 and the 6C8, and they used different tubes prior to that. I think if you look up, and there should be lots of them on the internet, the NC100 ASD. You won't have the crystal filter in the schematic, but I think it uses those tubes, the 6C8 and the 6F8. And those are in the AVC amp and the detector and the first audio amp and that sort of stuff, and a noise limiter. And so anyway, that might be a better reference than the NC100. The NC100 manual is, that was the first one they did on the catacomb receivers, and so it's pretty lacking. And yeah, it doesn't have the voltages or anything. And the NC100 ASD, because it's a military receiver, it was a military contract for the Signal Corps, the manual is a lot better, has more information in it. And I think you'll find that one's a better reference. With that, I'm going to say 73. Everybody have a good one, and we'll hope to hear everybody back next week. I guess Kevin's going to wrap it up. WA6JKN, WA7YBS.
Okay. Thank you, Henry. Number one, broadcast receivers. I've collected those over the years. Ever since I was a teenager, I've always had a fascination with various broadcast receivers, especially the ones that were multi-band for shortwave listening. Matter of fact, that was how I used to make my money as a teenager too, is repairing these things. And I always had copies, always. precision dial on the front. Yeah, it was a precision dial. So somebody had modified this radio for to get on a specific frequency for whatever reason. Because looking at the radio, you couldn't tell if it was manufactured that way or it was an actual modification. Because this dial was installed, or it looked like it was always part of the radio. So I don't know if it was a spy radio or it was under special government contract. I don't know. But that came through my workshop here. And it didn't have any unusual frequencies or anything on the It just had the ability to be precise where you wanted to go. Being a mechanical precision dial. And for those that don't know what those are, if you had one of those military frequency calibrators, those have the calibrated dials on. So you can get to the specific frequency that you're trying to heterodyne. So that's what this had. It was absolutely interesting looking. And Dave, about sleeping. Yeah, as an old soldier, I can sleep anywhere, anytime. It makes no difference whether the ground is hard or soft. That's probably because of my training living in California. The only time I would wake up from a sleep is if there was an earthquake. And this became handy during the full training exercise during night maneuvers when we had joint, well, let's just say it was a big operation and we had big tanks involved. So during night maneuvers, if you happen to be sleeping, you always made sure during night maneuvers that you sleep next to a building or a tree, especially trees. They work really well. And you don't want to have one of those tanks run you over. And we've had that happen. People don't realize that a tank is coming and they get run over. You're not sleeping next to a tree. But with the California training and being exposed to earthquakes, I always would wake up anytime I felt the ground move. So during that maneuvers, well, I could feel that tank coming from a long ways. So that was a good time. Very best to everybody and your families. Take care. And good to hear you, Dave. No, Chuck. W0DWC. 73, everybody.
Okay, Kevin. Alrighty. Well, I've just gotten a little bit of QSB on everybody, so I think we probably hit it at the right time. Just shortly before 9 o'clock. So good net this morning, fellas. Thanks to everybody for being there, for the support. We appreciate the support you guys give us every week, week in and week out. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you for being there. It's always appreciated. All right, fellas. Well, that'll wrap it up for today. And with that, I'll secure the Vintage Military Radio net for today. Again, I want to thank everyone for their participation. And invite everybody back next Sunday morning. Henry will be in control next weekend. And then the following
weekend, and for the ART, I'll be in that control for the shootout. So Henry will be in next Sunday, and I'll be in the Sunday after that. So with that, we'll turn the frequency back over to regular amateur use. You guys have a good day today, and enjoy the sun and the weather, and have a good week ahead, and we'll talk to you next week. So with that, this is K0DWC signing off, stage 73. Thanks, guys. Take care.